honor, family, betrayal. The new entry into this Mafia series, Mafia, the Old Country, takes the series back to early 1900s Sicily, a brand new journey for fans of the series, as Hangar 13 goes back to the roots of the series. The real question, however, is does it live up to the previous entries? I'm just a curious skeleton, and let's get into it. I will get into spoilers later and let you know when that is, but for now, the main thing that needs to be said about the story is that it is very much a return to form, reminiscent of Mafia 1 in many ways. Anyone who is a fan of the game, or the gangster genre in general, will pretty much know exactly how everything in the narrative will unravel. You'll be able to guess who will die, who will betray who, the love interests, and the ending. This is a very narrative-focused game, and from what I remember, it was much more cutscene heavy than the previous entries. It has a simple story to tell, and it does tell it well. For all the repetitiveness of Mafia 3, I do gotta admit that I respect it more, narratively, for being a bit more creative with its presentations. With the courtroom scenes and interviews. The game is very flawed, but I always think of the story somewhat fondly, and wish it had been centered in a better gameplay frame.
Come forward.
Everything in Mafia, the Old Country, is very safe and traditional. Every character is a trope you will recognize. This works for its benefit and its detriment. On one hand, this allows it to be a very safe, well done entry that gets the series back on track.
All of the men in this
On the other, it is not particularly memorable, nor does it invoke any strong feelings.
family.
It is a good burger, and you'll be satisfied enough, but also wondering if you should have just gone to the Indian place down the street. This game also has a slower start than the other Mafia games. You will not even be using a gun until like chapter 3. Now, I don't mind this, as I am a fan of taking your time narratively, but if you are someone who just wants to get into the action right away, then this might bother you. The voice actors in this game also just really knock it out the park. Every performance is very, very good. The soundtrack of the game is also perfect for what it is, and accents the game very well. The game does have some technical issues. Now, I bought this game on the day of release and beat it over the course of 3 days. So these are all launch issues that may not be applicable to anyone seeing this in the future. Like a lot of Unreal 5 games, this game has a lot of stutters. I would say most are small, they do not affect too much. I did have a particular chain of bad ones during the chase section, but it would freeze my games for whole seconds or two before resuming.
Yes.
I was still able to do the chase on the first try, but that was the one time it was so bad it very much could have affected my experience. There were also texture issues where particles and characters' faces would have trouble loading and smoothing out, so it would look like this layer of fuzz over the characters' faces, and it became very distracting. I adjusted my settings a bit, and this issue went away totally by the second half of the game. If you are someone who is big on technical issues, you might want to wait to play this until a patch or two out. Gameplay wise, this game is mostly what you would expect if you know the Mafia games. The gunplay is serviceable. Most missions consist of you clearing camps, whether you do it loudly or stealthy. You have a knife, a pistol, and a rifle or shotgun as your loadout. This game is much more focused on knives than the previous games, and has a duel system that are essentially boss battles. You have slashes, thrusts, parries, and guard breaks. You have to watch your enemy and time strikes, break their guard, and dodge some unparryable attack. I think of them as the Mafia version of duels from Ghost of Tsushima. Also, I feel like the way I said that might have made them seem a lot more dynamic than they are. Every single one took me one try, and some of those fights I was just like slash spamming or something. It doesn't take too much thought, nor is it too in-depth. You get 3 types of knives, which have different benefits. But the main breakdown is one type has throwable takedowns, one allows takedowns during duels, and one type has more durability. I ended up using the knives that allow dual takedowns the entire game. You can customize a good bit in this game, from your outfit to cars and horses. Honestly, besides changing my outfit a couple times, I did not really use these systems too much. The world is technically open. There are no side activities or missions. It's just for taking pictures or finding some unmarked collectibles. It's really not worth driving around outside missions in my opinion, though the game does have very beautiful environment. The game does have a little upgrade system in the form of a rosary, where you can equip different medallions and charms for little perks. Medallions serve as more major perks, with things like giving you invulnerability when all your health is gone, while charms are more minor, little benefits. You can upgrade your rosary to get up to 1 medallion and 4 charms. Other than that, horses and cars handle okay. You have some chase sequences. This game has a skip drive button if you don't want to drive the long distances between some missions. There are 2 race missions, 1 horse and 1 car. I thought the horse one was fun and had the perfect balance of tension, so winning felt very satisfactory. I did not like the car one, though. It just lasted too long and the car's handling annoyed me, and some turns really sucked. Well, on the benefit, the checkpoints are for it are very generous, so it still only took me like 3 tries. All in all, if you're a fan of the genre of games, I definitely recommend grabbing this game. It's short and to the point, which I find refreshing in games nowadays. I'm going to get into some spoilers now, so leave if you do not want to see them. Alright, into the spoilers. I said it before, this story is extremely typical. A young guy gets saved by a mafia family, gets deeper and deeper into the organization, falls in love with the boss's daughter. He becomes disillusioned with the life, as he wants a family away from all this. And of course, it all goes to shit. As far as characters though, I did feel more sympathy for Enzo than the other Mafia protagonists, as he really does start off the worst in my opinion. He's pretty much a slave coal miner. I don't know if it's coal. He's a slave miner though. Anything is actually better than suffering that kind of fate. All the characters in this game really are tropes. You know the moment you meet them that Luca is going to be the more grounded mentor, and that Cesare will eventually betray you. I do wish they gave us more story beats with these characters, so their moments hit harder though. Every emotional beat and betrayal really struggle to make an impact since everything is so predictable. Though I do think Cesare stabbed me at the end does hit the hardest in this game. But since the Mafia 3, even in Betrayal Mafia 3, like had me more emotional than like anything in this game. The betrayals in 1 and 2, the emotional beats of those games hit harder than anything in this one, I feel. This feels really reminiscent of Mafia 1, as it stated before, though the ending is certainly darker. At least in 1, our protagonist got to escape and live with his family for a bit before getting whacked. Enzo dies after getting betrayed by his friend, a guy who he had just spared, and even worse, he dies at the very moment he had risked his life to escape. It was a very tragically poetic end for Enzo, and I'm glad at least Isabella got away. I also found it very poetically ironic that Enzo's last promotion was being made owner of that very mine. As far as antagonists go, the Spadaro family is not particularly memorable. I found the strongest antagonist moment in the game to be from Teresi during Enzo's knife fight with him. When you stab him, and Enzo says men like him deserve to die, and he just grabs Enzo's hand with the knife in it, uses it to pull the knife out, and then just goes, "Men like me stomp rats like you." That was like the one antagonist moment that actually gave me a bit of a chill. Other than that though, everyone very much fills their roles and just gets the story to where it has to go. Overall, I would probably put this game behind Mafia 1 and 2 and ahead of 3. So as I stated, I do respect 3 more narratively, and I think it's one of those games that will always be a what if to me. Mafia the Old Country is ultimately just another standard entry into the series, but I'm also sure that is exactly what the developers intended. A good entry for anyone interested into getting to the games, or longtime fans of the series, or just anyone that's a fan of like this type of gangster genre. I do hope if they continue the series, to get a bit more creative with the next entry. I'm just a curious skeleton, and I'll see you next time.